Hey everyone, we're live. I'm live 3 minutes early. This right here, this is Tigger. Tigger makes appearances in my podcast all the time. Anyway, so I'm here with the Holler neighbors and we're getting kind of set up. One of them's making a fire right now. Over there. See him making a fire? That's Tactical Redneck. And that's Nighthawk.
Hello.
They'll come over and join me on the sofa. So here's what we're doing. You can type your questions in the chat bar. Oh,
Okay.
this is Morty. Anyway, you type.
My friend. It was
You
in my
type-
seat.
This guy's been a little. You would think I didn't give them shrimp for dinner tonight, but I did. Okay, so you can type your questions in the chat. I'll try to keep the video as close to all of us as possible without actually sitting on our laps because that would be weird. What do you got for us tonight? What do you want to know about the Holler neighborhood? Here's something I wanted to show you. These are sweet potato slips. So about 2 seasons ago, MT Brand gave me, hi Crystal, gave me sweet potato slips while I was on a business trip in Houston, Texas. And I have been making new slips from these sweet potatoes every year since then. This is my third time. So the first year I planted the ones he gave me. Second year, which was last year, I planted some. And now this year, this is the third year. So they're going strong. What I'm going to do is, you can see how long, like when it's this long, you can just like peel them off and put them straight in the water and they start to root. So some of these are super long. Within about 2 weeks, I'll be ready to put these out in the ground, the ones that I've pulled off and rooted. So thought you might want to see that. You can put that over there. I also think that live streams are better with cocktails. Excellent. Okay, guys, so what do you want to hear about? We're basically on third or fourth week without going to the grocery store. And some things that we've been getting low on.
Beer.
It's not a problem for me. I don't drink much beer. But we're low on beer. One of our neighbors went to the store today and got some beer, and we sprayed it down with Lysol, and it's outside. But what else are we doing to take care of that problem, guys?
Making beer and drinking off of all the stuff I've already made.
Okay, so how do we make beer?
This is a reminder. Tactical, take your vitamins to the coal.
Computer.
That's
I already
Alexa.
did that.
So this is just bourbon on the rocks because I'm trying to stay keto through all of this mess. And I've kind of been okay at that. We put pumpkin in the soup last night, so I'm sure I went over my carbs because there was pumpkin in there. But
This is a reminder.
also that reminder keeps going.
Computer, stop.
That is actually what it's like here at the Holler Homestead. The computer talks to me all day long. When I'm roasting coffee, the computer is reminding me to do things on a schedule. Anyway, so how did we make beer?
Put the ingredients in a pot, boil it, let it cool, put it in a carboy, let it sit.
We added something to the thing we boiled after it was in the carboy.
These.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, I got a beer kit, and I walked him through how to make beer. We have a second beer kit, and then we're out of beer kitty stuff, so we need to get more beer kits. What else do we need to do to be ready for the beer? So the beer's almost done. We started it about a week ago.
We have to clean and sanitize the keg and check and make sure that works.
Yep. So we are not going to do the priming sugar and CO2 in the bottle. We're going to put it in a keg because I have a CO2 tank that I use at the workshop because we have awesome home brew that people make and bring to the workshop. And so I happen to have an empty keg, and I thought, why wait 2 more weeks priming it in the bottle when I can add CO2 right now? So he's going to make sure the keg's ready to go, and if not, we'll order gaskets for it. But that's how we're getting over the beer thing. So anyway, thanks, Jenny. I have lost some weight. It's true, like 12 pounds. And then I'll just be like stuck there at 12 pounds. But I'm going on a walk every day, except for today, because today I didn't go for a walk. that's kind of a problem, isn't it? I gotta keep going with that.
You did
Okay.
something today, though.
Greetings, Mr. Siegler. What other questions do y'all have? So we've talked about making beer. We've talked about drinking bourbon. We've talked about sweet potato slips. Can't wait to put these babies in. I'm waiting for your questions, unless something you want to bring up.
What
Oh.
else did you do today?
Look, it's the homeless Unabomber. So when do you consider cannibalism? Okay. Not yet. We're not going to do cannibalism yet, and here's why. Because I store what I eat, and I eat what I store. Have we been eating okay since we stopped going to the store?
Only a little bit.
What did we have for dinner tonight?
Leftovers from last night, which was the soup that was awesome.
Okay, so we had Holler stew, and it was made with bratwurst from the freezer and homemade bone broth, and then watercress from the creek, and some onions,
Fish.
pumpkin. I had this awesome pumpkin that Patrick left from Empty Knives when he was here in October. It lasted that long. And then we also added some fish. I had some walleye that Island Mountain Pat, my next door neighbor, dropped off. And then we added turkey.
A little bit of turkey.
A little bit of turkey. So that's what we had for dinner. And then I already had that for lunch today because I didn't cook the butt that I'm supposed to cook. Anyway, that's what's for dinner tomorrow. So I brought shrimp out. Were you guys happy to see that shrimp?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of sort of same things over and over. And I'm trying to get it so that we have three sets of leftovers in the fridge at all times so that it's not the same meal every single night. And that's working pretty well. So cannibalism, not happening yet. If it happens, though, I'm the one in danger because I'm the chunkiest. Because would you eat that skinny butt? I don't think so. Okay.
But if you look at it, you kind of storing rednecks around the holler, though.
I what?
You're storing rednecks.
I am
around the
storing
holler.
rednecks and Mortimer. Okay, so
Not eating Mortimer.
am I ketoing alone here? So this is from Crystal. I am ketoing alone here. So he's eating. So like I'll cook and there'll be rice and I'll put it on the side and he'll have rice. He kind of ketos already because he's low carb. But yeah, I'm mostly ketoing alone. And it's not a big deal. Actually, I
know I'm not being very supportive in that.
I don't need
As I'm
people to
eating-
be.
As I'm eating the rice, the bread.
It was the
crackers.
cracker. I watched him eat a cracker and I was like, now I'm craving crackers. It sucks. But other than that, it's totally cool. Okay. Holy crap, tactical redneck, please never send me a letter. Why? Because he's a Unabomber? Sounds like David humor right there. Okay, unique tips for dealing with poison ivy. My wrist looks like an alien baby is trying to erupt. Are you sure, Crystal, are you sure is that Carrie? Oh, Carrie, are you sure that is poison ivy? Because I'll tell you what, poison ivy and jewelweed are two things that work really well, and comfrey salve really works well on it, but I get that same thing, and it's not poison ivy. It is the wisteria. So double check that it's really poison ivy. If it is, try the jewelweed. That works pretty well. Another thing I like to do is just put hot water on it, and it's like you're scratching, but you're not really scratching, and that really helps. But for me, what I found out is when I get the rash from the wisteria, which I do if I'm clearing brush, then none of the poison ivy remedies help, and I think it's because it's a different reaction. So yeah, I'm sorry about that because poison ivy sucks, and or the wisteria rash. I get it right here. I have one on the back of this wrist right now from the wisteria because when I put the goat out, she loves to eat that stuff, and then her chain gets it on the chain, and then I get it on my arms. So that's the only tip I have for you besides going to the doctor and getting a prescription like steroid cream, which works great. That works great. Yeah. And then the last thing, of course, Carrie, is don't get it. Yeah, that's what everybody told me too. And I'm always looking at them like, you're a jerk. Okay, what do we got? How is Nighthawk not allergic to shellfish? Are you allergic to shellfish?
I'm not allergic to shellfish.
So here's what we're working on. We haven't gone to the store in a long time. He's craving steamer clams. I'm trying to figure out how to order some in just because it's been a while and we're about ready for something a little bit different. We're eating a lot of homemade, like from the freezer sorts of pork things. And steamer clams sound like a really good change. It's like you can't just run out to Thai food right now. Hey, Jan, we're doing great. Wisteria, yep. +1 on the hot water. Okay. Why do you have 3 damn thermostats on the wall behind you? Yeah, that's right. That's my award of arms too. In case you ever wanted to know, I have an award of arms. It's there. But here are my 3 thermostats. Do you know what they control?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's okay. We're getting ready to add a 4th one.
It's like an Art Deco sort of decoration. So the guy who built this house was, I think he was a prepper, and he had underfloor heating that ran from a fire burned water heater, went through a boiler system, and then he converted that to propane. He had wall units that were electrical, and he had thermostat number 3 that was probably the air conditioner that I found outside that was like in the front of the house with octopus arms when I moved in. So none of them worked when I moved in here. And so these 3 thermostats have never worked. They've just always kind of been there. And, you know, they're like a fixture. They're a reminder that 2 is 1 and 1 is none, as 3 is for me. And even with 3 is for me, I now have a wood stove that heats my house. So, yeah, that's part of the fun. So Carrie says never saw it, just going off the symptoms. Yep. You may have test the wisteria thing too, because like there's wisteria all over the place. MT knives went out for Thai. Are you kidding me? You're going to die, man. You're going to die. We're in a pandemic. How can you go to Thai food at a time like this? Come on now. Okay. We're getting crap for not being 6 feet apart. Why aren't we 6 feet apart? Usually we're more than 6 feet apart, but you know.
Why should we be 6 feet apart?
Why do we need to be 6? We haven't left the holler.
It's not totally true.
Yeah, he had to go through a sterilization process. Tell them what happened this week.
One of us left the holler twice in the last 2 days.
Where'd you go?
The vet.
Why?
Dog decided to get sick and needed to see the vet.
Yeah.
She ate mold. Don't let your dog eat mold.
Don't let your dog eat mold. Yeah. So
it becomes a very nerve-wracking 2 days and then very expensive 2 days.
He's renamed her G.
I'm gonna start calling.
I'm hoping she doesn't become G2 in the future.
First
right now
name
she's
is 1G.
Yeah. So his dog got into something and was having a nervous system reaction, and so he took her to the vet. When he came back, he took a shower, changed all his clothes at his place before he came here, and repeated that when he went to pick her up. So his hair is really clean right now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's probably like wispy and floating up if he's not wearing that crazy looking hat that he's wearing because he doesn't believe in wood fires at night. But luckily, tactical rednecks on the job. So yeah. Okay, next question. So Jan says, I didn't know wisteria can give rashes. It can give rashes, but it doesn't give rashes to everybody. It just gives them to me, which is irritating. Jen says, when making mead, will putting too much in affect the taste? Like, what do you mean by too much? Like 2 tablespoons instead of 1, or like a whole package? So I don't think it will affect the taste. What happens when too much yeast goes in to a batch of something is it starts fermenting anyway, and the stuff that doesn't have something to eat dies. No. And so if you're racking regularly and not letting it sit on the leaves, I don't think that'll negatively impact the taste. And the dog does feel better. She's all better, actually. No liver damage. She had a fun 2 days at the vet. So if you screwed up and were like, whoops, it spilled, you should be fine.
All that spills is cold crush it.
Yeah, you could cold crash it and start over if you're worried about it. That's true too. But I would just keep racking that thing on a regular basis. And the next question is this a neck knife? Yes, this is my MT Knives neck knife that I use for mushroom hunting. And yesterday, after 14 years of looking, I was on a walk right after the podcast, actually. And I'm looking and I'm like, everybody says it's near creek beds right now. So I'm going along the creek beds and I'm like walking through the brush and getting all chiggery. So I had to take a shower right when I got back. And I'd sort of given up. I was like, I think they should grow here. They're not growing here. And I keep walking along the road and I look and there's road, creek, hillside, and there they are. And I had to go through like that much water and I wasn't wearing rubber boots and I got morels and I'm stoked because now I've soaked them in salt water for 2 hours last night, taken them out of the salt water. We ate them for breakfast. And then I've put some molasses in the salt water in a 5-gallon bucket and I'm going to spread them out somewhere else where I think they might like to grow under the hopes that within the next year or two, we start getting morel mushrooms. So that's kind of the plan there. And we'll see.
Are you putting it a little more convenient?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put it over there right across the street.
Oh, you mean so you don't have to wade through the creek so much?
I'll still have to wade through a creek because I'm thinking they like that north-facing thing right now. But like I was so elated yesterday that the start to my day, which was really crappy, still made me super happy last night. I don't even know. I don't remember why I was grumpy yesterday morning. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
ACs.
Huh?
AC units.
Oh, yeah. The other thing is both AC HVAC units at my duplex in Nashville died yesterday morning, which is not a cheap thing to fix. So that made me kind of grumpy because like we're in the middle of a pandemic and the financial outlook's a little unstable. Like we're not sure in a couple months how things are going to be economically. And then not one, but 2 HVAC units go out on the same day in the middle of a pandemic. I was kind of bitchy about that. Okay. Somebody thinks we need more thermostats.
Oh, there might be another one added. Don't worry.
Okay, we have some feedback for Jen saying if you age it for 6 months, it won't be a thing. How are you going to encourage the regrowth of the morels? So I'm putting wood ash out where it's going to go, and then it's been suggested that I should put peat moss out. And I can tell you this: the morels I found were growing in a really mossy area. So I don't have peat moss at the moment, so I'm gonna just put them near a mossy area with some dead cedars and dead trees, and we'll see how it goes.
We're not sure on.
Do you guys ever shave?
Not for many years.
I haven't shaved since I got out a year ago.
Are you gonna shave now that you've made your year?
I'm thinking about upping it to 2 years.
Yeah, so no, they don't ever shave.
I might just renew my vow for another year.
We're doing great here. Okay, somebody says they cut their throat open trying to resheath. I am kind of careful when you resheath because you're like pointing a knife at your heart, and that's kind of scary, but it goes great. It actually works. You get used to it.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been on? Did you already talk about my pig? Okay. You want to talk about the pig?
We're ready. We're just waiting for you to drop it off.
So we've been watching Wartime Farm, and we decided that we are living Corona Time Homestead. And we started having conversations about how to get more food off of the land, which was not exactly our primary focus this year. We were going to increase some of the food production, but then with this whole so then so he's got rabbits going. And I decided, well, maybe because we're almost through the last pig I raised, maybe we should raise a pig this year rather than buy a pig or half a pig or whatever. And then Mark Alexander from School Bell Farm, who listens to the show, if you're on social networks, you'll see he's always cracking us up. He said, hey, I got a pig for sale. So tomorrow at 8 a.m., Priscilla arrives. I don't know if that's her name or not, but
You named her already?
No, I haven't really. Telling me 8 a.m. 8 a.m.
Oh, that means gotta get up early.
Oh, that's okay. You don't have to be here. I have a 9 o'clock interview for the show though, so if he's not here by 9, it's all you guys.
All right.
So So anyway, we have a female pig arriving. He offered also to sell me a male, but I'd like to get a male it's a red waddler, which I've heard are really tasty. She's about 150 pounds right now. I may end up breeding her. I'm not sure because we are looking at how to get more ongoing food production from the property. We are swimming in eggs, though. And then meat birds. You're doing meat birds, right?
Yeah, we're doing meat birds somewhere around here.
Yep. So we got 50 meat birds coming, and that's really going to be fun. Okay. Do you live in a trailer? Negative. I live in a bunker. Bunkers are way safer than trailers. Do you support Trump? Here's something I've always known this, but now that the pandemic has happened, I'm 100% certain that politicians will take advantage of a situation to further their political position. And that's of both parties. And I'm disgusted by how both parties are reacting to this situation and using it to further turn the screws on us, the people of this country. And so do I support Trump? I don't support any politician at this point. I'm pretty irritated with the whole situation. Yeah, I almost went on a rant on Facebook. I'll probably do another one, but it's disgusting to watch them fight and then spend a whole bunch of money that's not theirs and then tell us it's to give us, a stimulus check of $1,200. Like, how much money did we just spend per person to give each person $1,200? It's obscene. It's obscene.
A lot more than $1,200 a person.
Yeah. I think the best proposal I saw going into this was just return everybody's taxes they've paid all this year and not collect taxes. It would cost less than what they're spending money on now. And it's going to be, we'll find out in a couple of years how much money was transferred from the backs of poor people and middle-class people to the ruling elite. And it is unfair and uncool. That's where I stand. We better get off politics.
I
better have another. Yeah, you're gonna.
Can I answer that real quick?
Uh-oh.
Basically, they're all idiots. Some are not as big as idiots as others, but they're all idiots.
My one and only bumper sticker, Sweet Meteor of Death 2016. I have a Spirko 2020 bumper sticker on my car. And hold on. I'll show you what it looks like. You guys talk. Do something entertaining. Gee.
Be
Your
entertaining.
opinion's a lot nicer than mine is when it comes to the politicians.
So, my friend Jack Spirko started running for office, but he's not really running for office. He does not want you to vote for him. So when I heard that, reached out and created some bumper stickers. We've been shipping these out to people. But his whole joke is like, 10 reasons you don't want to vote for me. His first reason is, I'll tell you the truth. That's the kind of politician I'd actually like to have, as a matter of fact. So, okay. I went to Iran last year and nearly got bumped by okay. Not paying taxes for a year would be awesome. Yeah, David, I bet especially this year for you. Commander. Okay. What's the next question? You thought I was going to back my car up in here? No, I've already ripped the front bumper off twice, David. Like,
never fixed that for like
he needs to
3 days
fix
now.
it. I don't know what's up. I have a mechanic living next door, and the bumper's not back on.
Yes, she wants to get
Slacker.
All the drama around here about the pig. They're not going to complain when they're having bacon. That's all I'm going to say. You're not going to complain when you're having bacon.
Are we having bacon tomorrow?
We can have bacon tomorrow.
From the pig?
Not that pig. I have different bacon from a different pig.
I had some of that bacon the other day. Good.
Yep.
I like that bacon.
Yep. That bacon is good. We're down to our last 2 pounds of bacon. But that's okay. I actually tried to get some at the store, and they couldn't. Hey, Dusty and Chelsea.
Couldn't find bacon either.
So is Tennessee already so full of New York and California it isn't Tennessee anymore? No, it's still Tennessee.
Yeah.
And they still tell me I'm not from here, am I? Yeah, you're not from here, are you? I hear that a lot. It's okay. Also, David's giving you crap about you had one job mechanic. Thanks, David. It's good to have a friend in the audience.
David's lying.
How's Mama Sauce? Sorry if it's already asked. Just joined. So Mama Sauce is not here with us. She is in California, and things are accelerating from the infection standpoint there pretty rapidly. And she's, not as young as I am. And her husband is about 10 years older than her, so that's an at-risk category. And she's like I am. We talked today. She's ready for this to be over. I'm ready for this to be over. You're ready for this to be over, right? But she's doing okay. She's doing a lot of knitting, and luckily we can work digitally. We ended up needing to postpone the workshop till June. And so that means she won't get to come out here until June, but she wouldn't have been able to anyway because of all the risk of exposure and, who knows what's going to happen with travel bans. So she's doing well. She's just more hyper than I am and going a little bit stir crazy. So that's how she is. It's impossible to complain while eating bacon. That's true. The Michigan governor canceled school for the rest of the year today. It's getting old. Yep. I just read an article, speaking of that, about how kids are all at home and they're not doing like their 4,000 extracurricular activities. And parents are deciding when they go back that they're going to do less, because what they're noticing is when their kids have time that's unstructured to be creative, they're actually becoming more balanced, less anxious. So it turns out if you overcommit your kids to activities, you might be adding to the problem of their anxiety. And I think this is going to be an interesting, eye-opening experience for a lot of parents about how easy school is, first of all. And secondly, maybe it's not the best to have your kid on the run every hour of the day for 15 hours a day. Just saying.
Do you think more people are going to be more open to possibility of homeschooling now?
Do I think more people will be open to homeschooling? I think yes and no. I've got friends who are homeschooling for the first time, and they're not homeschooling because they're also working from home, and they're totally stressed out about it. And some schools are giving like big packets of work, and others aren't giving very much. And so I think there may be more push towards it, but I also think parents are going to be really glad to have their kids back in school. So David's repackaging his Holler roast, and it smells good. David, should I just start like vacuum packing your Holler roast in the future? Because I think I send it to you and then you repack it. I don't know. Just a thought.
Aren't you supposed to drink that?
Well, he buys a box, and 6 pounds fit in a box. So then he doesn't drink 6 pounds in a week. So I assume he's vacuum packing it for, so it lasts and is fresh.
He doesn't drink 6 pounds a week?
We don't drink 6 pounds a week. I mean,
but
I drink a lot of coffee. Don't get me wrong.
But it's David. I thought he drank at least 6 pounds a week.
So here's another one. No, see, David's like, he's more the bourbon guy. Or the cocktail guy. Today's the first day during all of this when I discovered someone I knew personally had COVID. Does anyone you know have COVID? Yes. Several people I know have COVID. One person I was very worried about because he didn't go in super healthy, but he has pulled through, and that was the scariest one. But I know a couple people, and I know somebody who's died. So it is what it is. We do the best we can with what we have. I think people realize they won't all need what they think they need. True. By the way, the reason I'm squinting is because the words are this big. I can't wait until I have enough subscribers to use a cell phone and then have something on the TV where I can actually read what y'all are saying. Jenny Hill says, I feel stir crazy. I've been walking my neighborhood. My kids have been so much happier since they're out of school. Interesting, Jenny. I don't know how you're going to work and homeschool your kids, though. Yeah. Anyway, they looked like they were having fun today. You had that picture of them wrestling in the hallway. One of my twins is happy as can be. The other one's taking more time to adjust. Yeah, my two nieces, one of them's doing really well, and the other one doesn't want to do her work for school. But she's having fun baking. So that's what she told me. Okay, so apparently if I want to ship David his coffee pre-vacuum packed, I have to put it in half-gallon mason jars and ship those, and that's too risky. So noted. And, one bag of Holler Roast fits in a half-gallon mason jar. I have figured that out, too. That's what I use for mine for storage as well by the coffee maker. Jan says she's glad her kids are grown. Okay, guys, any other questions? Anything else you want to know about the Holler? You want to see my lettuce harvest today?
Didn't you already eat part of that?
No, I harvested lettuce and then fed you the harvest from 2 days ago.
Oh.
I'm sneaky like that.
So we're eating like leftovers of leftovers at this point in time, I guess. We could have something fresh, but no.
What we're forced to do with Dale lettuce.
Yeah.
See how much she likes this?
I know. That's what we really love.
Yeah. I feel
Check this out.
Unimportant right now.
Yeah.
Came off the aquaponics system, this gallon bag of lettuce. I've got another gallon that I'll be harvesting off the crack key system tonight too. So we're going to have like this. We eat about half of one of these a day here. So I was pretty stoked when that all came off of there. Talk about your rabbits, Nighthawk. Oh yeah, you should.
I've got 7 rabbits now. I thought I had 6, but I recounted and another
Nighthawk can't count.
Another one magically appeared. They're 5 days old, something like that. They're starting to grow fur, and basically all I've had to do as far as maintenance with them is just make sure the mom has food and water, and she does all the work.
So what's your plan with the rabbits?
Eventually they're gonna graduate, probably in 8 to 12 weeks.
They're going to graduate in 8 to 12 weeks. Are you keeping any of them for future stock or no?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a possibility I might keep 1 or 2 of them, but I might try to sell one just to help recoup some of the money from the feed.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them are going to graduate and become dinner.
Okay. Siegler says more beheadings. I don't think that was in relationship to... Oh, yeah, I was told there would be... Yeah, that is about your rabbits.
Yeah.
Jan, I'm sorry your son is sick. Are you bringing in another female so you have alternating stock?
Yes. I haven't quite decided where I'm getting a female yet. My friend that I did get the 2 rabbits from said I can have another female, but she has to grow up. And I was talking with him and his one neighbor that I know. They have, I think, New Zealand whites.
Mm-hmm.
So next time I'm out there visiting him, I'll talk to him. I might be able to get a rabbit off of him too.
Oh, Patrick's here. Look, Patrick, I'm wearing your knife.
He's a little late.
That's okay.
Yeah.
He may have been here the whole time.
Patrick.
Did I have it when I was harvesting morels? Negative.
She didn't have her cell phone either, so she could take a picture of it.
But I know where the patch is.
Nope, she was wandering out in the world with no communication, no protection, all the way down the road.
I had a gun.
Oh, you didn't have a gun?
We had
Yeah.
the conversation about being able to call someone. I had to drive out there and pick you up the 4-wheeler.
Yeah. Anyway, so let this be a lesson to you. I had to fill this hat right here with morels because I also did not have a foraging bag. And the rule is when you go on a walk, you have a foraging bag, you have your neck knife, and you can forage anything you want. If you're going to be getting stinging nettle, it's good to have gloves, although you can use the bag to kind of hold it. And what do? I go on a walk with a gun, but for protection, because there's been some weird people around here lately. I don't know why. but I figured I better start walking with a gun. And I didn't put my neck knife on because I had the gun. And then I didn't put a bag in my pocket. And then I found morels. And I wasn't wearing boots, but I had to ford the creek. So I got totally wet doing it. And yeah, I had to pick them with my fingernails. But it all worked. And I carried them in my hat. And I was super happy about it.
Didn't have a phone either.
I didn't have my phone, so I couldn't call for help. Because my phone needed to be charged. So the other thing is keep your phone charged. Yeah. Yeah, rubber boots are good, but my rubber boots give me blisters. So when I'm on like a 3 or 4 mile hike, and that's a 2.5 mile walk I was on looking for morels, tend not to wear them. And it's not that cold here. So while my feet did get wet and my shoes are almost dry now, it's taken a day in the sun for them to dry. It wasn't a big deal. And then I figured while my feet were wet, I'd just harvest watercress, which I did too. So we'll have more watercress this week. Did you get fiddlehead ferns? There are fiddlehead ferns right by this morel patch, which was interesting. But they're like, there are 2 kinds or more than one kind. So there are ones that are smooth and not hairy, and there are ones that are hairy. And the hairy ones are apparently not very good to eat. And the ones that I found were hairy. So I haven't found any fiddlehead ferns that are of the edible age or kind. And the minute I do, we're totally going to eat those. Oh, you know what else is coming on, guys? Asparagus. We got our first asparagus this week. Yeah, he got to eat the first spike because I was showing him up in my old garden plot, which he's going to be working this year because we're growing more food on the holler. The things that were perennial he needed to know. And I was like, well, that's the asparagus patch. You know how I know? He's like, how? I'm like, eat. That's how you know there's asparagus right there. So we'll be getting asparagus for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then I let it grow to reseed itself. We never get enough asparagus, though, in this patch to actually eat a bunch of asparagus. So it's like 1 or 2 spears a day. And then, whoever wants to eat one gets one fresh. If I want to do asparagus, I need to plant a whole bunch more. Anyway, any other questions? Yes, no? Should we keep doing these live streams? Yeah, my asparagus is like 10 years old. I just didn't put enough in. I probably should separate them. Okay, so we'll keep doing these. I think we're going to lock in Thursdays at 7 Central as much as possible. And then we'll just, collect questions in advance, or you can tell us, or I may start presenting different things. Next week, noon on Thursday, I am doing a Cheesemaking 101 webinar, and you can sign up for that at livingfreeintennessee.com. If you're a member, it's free. And if not, it's $50. But I'm going to show you the basics of cheese making, and then I'll probably do another webinar for more like hard cheeses and other cheeses. So I don't know. I thought you might be interested in that. If you're not already following my YouTube channel, please do that. When I get to 1,000 followers, I can use a cell phone, which makes me more mobile, and I can kind of show. It's easier than carrying my laptop around to show you things. So just consider doing that if you haven't done it yet, guys. And thank you so much for tuning in. And Nighthawk, your sister says hello. Make it a great week. Bye, guys.